Hello my dear health seekers, Inga from Health Origins here. So welcome to week 11 of Meal Prep for Weight Loss show. Today, two very easy, quick and delicious comforting recipes. So cauliflower cheese bake and also a quick root vegetable curry. So let's begin. So I had a little bit of technical difficulty. My microphone wasn't on. So what I was showing you, how basically I was chopping up the cauliflower. So what I was mentioning is cutting off the outside leaves by the core, and then the smaller leaves can be used for soups, stews, for other dishes. So I kept those and I'm gonna wash them and I'm gonna, use them for a different recipe. So yeah, actually cutting up and cleaning the cauliflower is the longest and the most messy job of this dish. Once you've done that and you got your cauliflower steaming, and then it's pretty easy from there. So I've got my cauliflower prepared here. Maybe that's a big bit. So I've got my cauliflower prepared here. I'm gonna wash it and I'm gonna steam it in my kitchen. And in the meantime, while it's steaming, we're gonna be preparing the cheese sauce. So now on to a fun part of the recipe is making the cheese sauce. So I've got my induction hob here and I'm going to put it on manual, kind of medium heat. Probably put it on, medium. And I've got 2 cups of soy milk, so it could be any plant milk of your choosing. So 2 cups of plant milk. It's such an easy recipe, and here I've got half a cup of my mac and cheese powder, so dry powder. I'm gonna link to you in the card above and in the description below of how you can make your own mac and cheese powder. So this is 2 servings, so 2 1/4 cups, so half a cup of this mac and cheese dry cheese mix. It's cashew based, it's got a lot of yummy ingredients in there. So all I'm doing is adding it to my cold plant milk and whisking it up. And all we need to do is to get this to boiling point and our cheese sauce is ready. So obviously make sure you kind of keep on whisking every so often so it doesn't, stick the starches in there. Don't start sticking to the bottom. But yeah, once you see it starting to boil, that's when the cheese sauce is ready. So now it's been 2-3 minutes, and as you can see, it started bubbling up and the sauce has nicely thickened. It's still fairly kind of free-flowing, free-running if you like, but that's kind of what you want, because we want to pour this over our cauliflower. So yeah, that is it. I'm gonna just switch it off and I'm gonna wait for my cauliflower to be done steaming. So it'll probably take about 10 minutes in all to steam, maybe until it gets to steaming, 2-3 minutes, and then maybe 5-6 minutes to steam the cauliflower. You kind of just want it partially cooked, more like 2/3 cooked probably, because we're gonna be baking it in the oven for a little while, for about 25 to 30 minutes as well. So we'll continue cooking there, but we want to kind of mostly cook it, mostly steam it through. So I've got my steaming cauliflower here, as you can see. So it took me about 8 9 minutes in total, so about 5 minutes actual steaming. And the cauliflower, to know that it's kind of done, it's looking see-through, and when you put a fork in it, it's quite easily piercing, so it's not raw anymore. So I've got my cauliflower here, and I've got clearly too much for this container. Ideally you would want to probably take it into 2 containers, because this is almost overflowing. And now we're gonna just pour the cheese over it, try and distribute it as evenly as possible to try and cover all the surface area of the cauliflower. And if it's not enough salt, you could add salt and pepper to your own plate once this is done, because this mac and cheese recipe already has you know, quite a bit of, well, not quite a bit, but it's got enough salt in there already, but you might want a little bit more because it's quite a large volume of cauliflower here. So that might not be quite enough, depends, you know, how salty you like your foods. So yeah, so this is now ready to be going into the oven, and I've got it preheating at 180. Mine is fan oven, so it's about equivalent of about 200 or 190. So 180, I've got it on, and we'll put it in for 20 minutes, and then for the last 10 minutes I'll put it on 200 to try and brown it and brown the cheese nicely on top. So I'll check with you after. So my stainless steel pan has heated up, and I'm going to be adding onion. So the base of any curry really is onion, you know, fried for quite a long time, and then it can either be tomato based or coconut cream based. So we're going for coconut cream this time. So yeah, you just want, this probably is a little bit too hot now, and if the onion starts sticking, we need to add a little bit of water to deglaze the pan and then keep on frying. So actually I didn't bring any water. So I've got some water here. Woo! So you don't want to overdo it with water. I would suggest putting about 2 tablespoons at a time to just deglaze the bottom and then keep on frying. I think I had my pan slightly too hot, so that's good. It kind of, the water cooled it down. So while this is frying, we're going to be chopping our vegetables. So I've got carrots, and they are non-peeled carrots because they are organic carrots, so I left the skins on them, and I don't mind it. If aesthetically you don't like it, then you can just peel the skin, preferably after it's been roasted, because you can just easily peel it away like this if you wanted to. Because if you peel the carrot before you start roasting, you're losing the vitamins from the skin, because there's a lot of vitamins and nutrients just around the skin. So I prefer to keep it on, and then if you wanted to peel it off afterwards, then that's fine. So I'm just gonna slice it in half, and do maybe the thickest part, I'll do it in 4, and do little incisions, little cuts, just to chop it into smaller edible chunks really. So the carrot, and then I've got my turnip or swede, also slow roasted, so I'm gonna just cut it into little squares. maybe centimeter squares here. And when you slow roast, I like slow roasting turnip or swede, whichever way you call it, because it kind of caramelizes the internal sugars. It becomes sweeter and less bitter. So yeah, so onions are frying. Some of it's stuck to the bottom, so I'm gonna put a little bit more water and keep on frying. And you totally don't need oil at all. As you can see, they're getting brown, caramelizing themselves on. You can do it either on a non-stick pan or on a metal pan, as I'm doing here, as you can see. Stainless steel, I mean. So yeah, so it's nicely cooking, and that's the key to cook the onions for quite a long time. You want them to really get nice and flavoursome, caramelize. So I'm gonna finish here with the carrot chopping. And the Swedes. So I just kind of slice it there as well. And then you've got nice little squares like so. And do it as small or as big as you like it in your curry, basically. I'm gonna just add them onto the pan. And this is a good tip, have some kind of like a rag, or this is a cloth here, on your chopping surface under the chopping board, so that the chopping board doesn't slide all over the place. So let's check on the onions. Again, they're starting to stick. So a bit more water. Sorry about the steam. I think I'm going to have to open the window again. It's getting proper steamy in here from these onions. Yeah, the onions are frying nicely. Another couple of tablespoons of water to just deglaze the bottom. And what we're going to do now, it's probably been about 5 minutes or so frying the onions. We want it for probably another 5 minutes, but I'm gonna grate about 5 centimeter piece of ginger into this. So curry is really known for kind of having some of these spices like ginger and obviously curry powder. So I'm gonna add the ginger for the last 5 minutes of onions frying. So it's probably about going to be about a teaspoon to a tablespoon. So probably a tablespoon of ginger would be a good amount as well. It wouldn't be too much. Mine is probably going to be a teaspoon and a half or so. And it's actually easier to do it over a bowl rather than over a hot steaming pot. So I'm just going to do it here and add it on. If you get the fibrous bits, you can just squeeze the juice out of them at the end. So obviously try and grate it as much as you can from different directions. And once you know it doesn't grate anymore, you've got this fibrous mass. If your ginger tends to be a bit older, that's what you can get. If it's like very fresh and new ginger, like small pieces, then you're probably not going to get that much of that stringy stuff, but on the older ones you will. So I'm just going to grate as much of it as I can, and as you can see, I've got this big bowl of of stringy mass. I'm gonna get rid of the good ginger underneath here. Try and use as much of that as I can. And then the stringy stuff, I'm just gonna squeeze the juice out of that so it gives the flavor. And I'm not gonna use the stringy parts. So I'm gonna just deglaze the pan a little bit more. So the onions have gone really translucent. They've gone nice and translucent. So I'm going to add the rest of the ginger, grated ginger here. It's nice and aromatic, the ginger, you can smell it mixed with the onion, yum. So gonna keep on frying just for a few more minutes, and in the meantime I'm gonna just chop up some sweet potato. So probably gonna be 1.5 large sweet potato. It's really soft actually. I've slow roasted it for about an hour, but maybe I could have done it for 40 minutes because it's gone really soft. But it'll be nice, it'll kind of make the curry creamy. It'll dissolve in the curry if you like. It'll give it a nice base, the sweet potato. So yeah, so it'll probably be like 1 large sweet potato, and I'm gonna leave this bit for a different dish because I don't want to overcrowd. My pan is not that large. Now I'm gonna add garlic for one last minute. So I got 3 cloves of crushed garlic. Just goes in there, and then I'm also gonna add 2 tablespoons of curry powder. So this is a mild curry powder. This is just a store-bought version. I really need to make my own, because when you make your own with fresh spices, it's amazing. But this time the store-bought will have to do. And I just fry lightly both the garlic and the curry powder for 1 minute, not more than 1 minute. You don't want it to start kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Burning. You don't want it to start burning, but you want the garlic and the spices to release the aroma. And I'm gonna just mix my onions with that powder. Now, yeah, I can start smelling the onion. So it's become aromatic. And now I'm gonna add my coconut milk. So 1 tin of coconut milk goes in here. So I'm gonna just, it's a little bit less than 1 tin, but that should be enough. So that's that. And also, optional ingredient, you can add some turmeric for that golden color. In fact, I think I'm gonna just quickly bring and put about 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric to just color everything lovely and yellow. I mean, it's orange vegetables anyway, but yeah, turmeric is just so good for you as well. So the curry powder already has some turmeric in it anyway, and that's why it's kind of yellow. But I've just added another 1/4 teaspoon just for extra. So yeah, so now this is bubbling through. I'm gonna be adding my vegetables. So I'm just gonna add, and this is such a quick and easy curry, and you can do that with any kind of veggies you've got. And you can make this either tomato based, so instead of a can of coconut milk, you would just add a tin or 2 of chopped tomatoes basically and cook it with the onions as well for a few more minutes. And then add any veg, obviously your curry powder and any veggies as well. So let me mix that through. You want to let this simmer on medium for about 5 to 7 minutes to let all the flavors to mix through together and infuse. So I'm gonna actually put the lid on this and let it heat through for a few minutes. So the cauliflower cheese bake is ready. And guess who I've got here?
Smells good.
We're quite hungry, guys, so let's taste this. Let's give it a taste. It's very, very hot, so be careful. So this is with, we brought some extra salt, just, you know, in case it needs it. So like I said, I was baking this on 180 fan-assisted oven. And for 20 minutes, and that was it. So actually it's nice and golden already. I didn't need the extra 10 minutes that I thought I might need on the higher temperature. But if you like yours browned a bit even more, then you could put another 5-10 minutes on a higher temperature. So let's give it a go.
Nice. Although it is very cauliflowery.
So it's some bits will be quite actually bitter because the cauliflower I had, one was from a couple of 2 or 3 or even 4 weeks ago that we got. So it's kind of, you know, the older your cauliflower, the more bitter it can get.
I don't think that's bitter though.
Yeah,
it's not bitter.
It's got some bitterness to it. But yeah, so the fresher your cauliflower, the less bitter, in my opinion, it is. But overall, I think you could probably triple, you know, so I've doubled the cheese, one cheese portion, so you could probably do another 1/4 cup of cheese powder and another cup of milk, just so that it's got even more cheese.
Sorry.
Gosh. Don't die on me.
I'm okay. Don't try and inhale cauliflower. It's not a good idea.
So yeah. So this is our cauliflower cheese, guys. And this curry, in fact, I think we're probably ready to taste the curry. Could you get us a couple of new spoons, please? We should be not really double dipping.
No problem.
So yeah, now as the curry is finished as well, we can try this one too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This one doesn't have any salt on it actually, so I think we need to sprinkle on each other's spoons. Can you do the favor then?
Or should we try without first?
Well, we can try without first.
And then...
Yeah, because this one doesn't have any salt. I didn't add any salt at all. So this is root vegetable creamy curry. You were craving some creamy curry, weren't you?
I do like a good curry.
You speak up because I'm by the microphone.
I said I do like a good curry.
Right, heard that? So anyway, this, you know, weekend gone, we were actually having some Indian for lunch, and we really enjoyed that.
Couldn't eat a whole one though. Come on, that's an old joke.
Okay. Was he meant to eat the Indian?
It's a bad joke. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily need salt.
I think if you're trying to avoid salt, that's probably actually, you know, edible like that. But I think I would prefer a little tiny bit of salt on this minuscule bit of portion that's left.
Would you?
No double dipping. You're choking on my show. You're sneezing on my show. Get out.
Never come back.
So there you go. Sorry for that. Train wreck of a taste test. It was funny though. I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, so this is the two dishes, and I'm gonna put everything together and show you what else I've prepared as well for this meal prep. So this is the lot. So I've got my cauliflower cheese bake. I've got the curry, so the root creamy curry, coconut based. Then my husband lovingly made some brown basmati rice here, a couple of bits. We already had some. Then I made these burgers. So these are okara burgers, and I'm gonna link to the recipe for you in the description below and in the card above. I had them frozen since yesterday actually, so I made those, and you can and these are non-baked, or you could, you know, freeze them baked, whichever way, but I prefer to freeze them non-baked, and then all you do is just bake them from frozen for about 25 to 30 minutes and it's done. Then I've got a leftover sweet potato here, and also a couple of slow roasted beetroots as well. So this is the lot, and obviously the usual additions of the greens, fruit for smoothies, greens and vegetables like tomatoes and things for salads to have with that. But this is it for week 11. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which of the two new recipes was your favorite. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe if you're new here. Welcome to the channel. And remember, food is fuel, so be mindful of what you put in the body. Until next time.